Start with number 20. Let's go ahead and stand up if you are able. Number 20. For years my God set free, heart that I always feel so free. For my perfect my nature gracious, so quickly from earth you gave upon earth. Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this evening, and those are us who are able to be here. We thank you that Roger and Dolly were able to come this morning. Pray that they might continue to be able to keep coming as the weather gets better. And pray. Miss Naomi at home, we pray that get things figured out so that she doesn't have as many reactions and might be able to come and join us at church more often. Pray for Marcia. Pray that she might actually get to go home this week as the doctors are hoping. We pray that that will happen. And, pray for Mary also in the hospital. We pray that she might heal enough to come home this week too. Pray that you'll bless our service tonight. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. You may be seated. Our next song is number 627. 627. Let's go. No more clouds in the sky. Your tears when I so I shall see. And I know upon his way. Say, if he takes me by the way, leads me through. No, take my Jesus, I shall see. But now upon his face, say, takes me by the hand, will lead me through the promised way.
Lord, we still praise and worship you, dear Lord, for leading us to be saved and us accepted. That that we come before you after, Lord, we ask that you put your blessings upon this offering, so that all glory be yours. Pray this in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. Very good song. Very good song. Well, good evening, everybody. Hope you got a little bit of rest or relaxation this afternoon. But it's so good to be in God's house tonight. We got a little bit warmer temperatures outside, and if you haven't seen it already, we got some kind of Tesla robot lawnmower thing going on at the neighbor's house. So I know the kids are out there eyeballing it. No, we got Cade. We don't need anything like that. Anyway, but it's so good to be in God's house. Just a couple of prayer requests and announcements. Just a reminder, at the conclusion of our service tonight, we will be observing the Lord's Supper, so please be aware of that. Please even now begin preparing yourself for that. That'll happen tonight. On next Sunday will be our Easter Sunday, Resurrection Sunday, Good News Sunday. So please be inviting people out for that. We do have more invitations out in the foyer. Please be aware of those. And then on April 27th, we'll have our anniversary Sunday. That'll be we'll have something special in the morning, and followed by a time of fellowship, refreshments afterwards. So please be aware of that. Please be inviting people out for that as well. I know you all have church. I'm very thankful for that. Prayer requests, we're going to continue to pray for Miss Marcia. Continue to pray for Mary Hasty. Continue to pray for Miss Naomi at home. It was good to see the Normans here this morning, but please continue to pray for them. And then also continue to pray for missionary Josh Sullivan. I've not heard anything further on him, so just please pray for his safety. Pray for the family. Pray that he would be home safely. And pray the Lord would just do a wonderful work. Pray that the Lord, here's the thought I had. Pray the Lord would be able to use this missionary to lead those kidnappers to the Lord. That'd be an amazing thing. That'd be an amazing testimony for the Lord right there. But we know that God's in control. So let's please pray for those. And those are all the announcements and prayer requests that I have. Brother Sean, let's have another song, please, sir.
Song's number 670. 670. So,
All right, praise the Lord. Finding your place to 1 Corinthians chapter number 11. 1 Corinthians chapter number 11. And again, tonight we're going to be partaking of the Lord's Supper. The title of the message tonight is the warning. We're still looking at warnings on Sunday nights. The warning is partaking of the Lord's Supper worthily. We need to make sure that we partake worthily. And we're going to see what that means tonight from God's Word here in 1 Corinthians chapter number 11. We're gonna pick up our reading here in verse number 17. We know that Paul here in this entire book chastises the church at Corinth, a very carnal church. They were proud about some sin that had been in the church. Maybe they were seeing themselves as inclusive or whatever you want to call it, but they were proud about it. They weren't ashamed of it, but they were glorying in it, as the Bible says. And so the Apostle Paul really lays into the church at Corinth. Not only were they glorying in the sin, but they were very divided. Very divided church. There were divisions in the church. There were arguments in the church. And so we're going to see what Paul says tonight here concerning their misuse of the Lord's Supper. And we're going to see we're going to see the problem. We're going to see what Paul said concerning this. But let's go to the Lord in a word of prayer. Before we begin reading, let's ask the Lord to be with our service tonight and ask Him to give us exactly what we need tonight. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, Lord, I love You. And I'm so thankful for the privilege, Lord, of reading Your Word and studying Your Word and, Lord, and preaching Your Word. Lord, I ask You, please hide me behind the cross. Lord, please fill me with Your power, Your words, and Your Spirit. Please use me in a mighty way, Lord. I pray that tonight would be a good night, a solemn night, a time of remembrance, Lord, but a time of getting things out, getting things clean, and just going forward for You, Lord. I pray that You please help us. I pray for the ones that are unable to be here tonight. We do lift them up in Your prayers, for Miss Marcia, Miss Mary, Miss Naomi. We just pray for those. Thank You, Lord, for the Normans being here this morning. Please pray for them, Lord. I know they would love to be here if they could. But please bless our service tonight. Give me the words to say, Lord. I pray that You would speak to hearts, and Lord, You would just move me out of the way. And thank You, Father, what You're going to do. Please, in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Here in 1 Corinthians chapter number 11, again, Paul is addressing this issue that they had been misusing the Lord's Supper. Let's pick up our reading here in verse number 17. Verse number 17 through 22, Paul really lays out the problem here. Look at what he says here. Starting in verse 17, it says, "Now in this that I declare unto you, I praise you not, that ye come together not for the better, but for the worse. For first of all, when ye come together in a church, I hear that there be divisions among you, and I partly believe it. For there must be also heresies among you, that they which are approved may be made manifest among you. When ye come together, therefore, into one place, this is not to eat the Lord's Supper. For in eating every one taketh before other his own supper, and one is hungry, and another is drunken. What? Have ye not houses to eat and drink in? Or despise ye the church of God, and shame them that have not? What shall I say to you? Shall I praise you in this? I praise you not." Here, the Apostle Paul is really laying it into the church of Corinth, because they're very carnal. They're very carnal in their way of doing things, not at all being led by the Spirit. And so Paul's laying it to them. And here is one of probably the biggest issues that they faced. Apart from the sin from that young man, was that there were divisions, and these divisions were causing a lot of problems here in the church. Let's kind of lay out some things here, what they were doing. Now, when we see, first and foremost, they made it into a fellowship or a feast. I mean, we see that there, verse number 18, first of all, when ye come together in the church. They were coming together. It is a good thing for a church to fellowship, but they were using this occasion as a fellowship, as a I'm not the Old Testament definition of a feast, but like what we would define a feast, a fellowship, a buffet, if you will. What's another phrase for that? Potluck. That's exactly, essentially what they were doing, but they were being divided among them. They were easily going to fellowship, but look at the problem they were having here. Verse 21, for in eating, everyone taketh before other his own supper. One is hungry, and another is drunken. Well, what's going on here? They were more worried about themselves. You know, I enjoy, let me give you just a very, very simple illustration. There was a elderly lady at Bethel. She kind of interesting. Just we had such, my wife and her husband, we have such a good relationship that we actually were married on the same day, but they were about 35 years married, longer than we were when we got, actually probably even longer than that. But this lady, she made some of the best banana pudding. I mean, me and another gentleman, another older gentleman, we would teasingly say, "Well, I'm going to finish it first. I'm going to lick the bowl clean. I'm going to lick the spoon." And it was just something that we would do. We would go back and forth on. I brought this lady up because if I was here in Corinth here, I wouldn't care about my brother, and his enjoyment of this banana pudding. I'd have grabbed the whole bowl and I'd have brought it back to the table, and that had been the end of it. That's what was going on here. Some were, as we see here, some were drunken, but others were going hungry. They were more concerned about themselves than they were anybody else, and Paul's chastising them for that. These divisions had brought a very big problem into the church. And it was also being affected here when they were coming together for the Lord's Supper. Paul tells them, says, "Hey, you have houses to eat and drink in, or is it you don't care about the church? You don't care about the house of God. You don't care about your brothers and sisters of Christ." He was letting them have it, and he said, "I'm not going to praise you in this. I said, praise you not in what they were doing." So they made it into a fellowship or a feast. And again, also not only that, I could see this. They used this time for worse, with the bickering and the divisions. We talked about a while back, a couple services ago anyway, about the problems that they were saying, well, I'm of Apollos, or I'm of Paul, or I'm of Cephas, or I'm of Christ. And there was divisions in the church. We've talked about that already. I kind of feel like they would have used these feasts, the Lord's Supper here, their observance, would have used it as a way to say, I'm gonna come over here, I'm gonna sit with all of us, and we're going to say we follow Paul, and and we're going to badmouth all those ones over there that say they're following Apollos, and all the ones that are over there they've gathered together, they're divided. Say, well, I'm following Cephas, I'm following Peter, and they start badmouthing those that follow Apollos or follow Paul, and of course then you got the ones that you got to have the spiritual ones in the church. Well, I'm following Christ. And they'll go off by themselves, and they'll come over here. But with the divisions we see, they badmouth those that are following Paul, those that badmouth following Apollos, and those that are badmouthing following Peter. It was a problem in the church. Divisions. They used it for the bickering. They used it for divisions. And the fact of the matter is, it was getting out of control. It was getting out of control. We see this verse 21. For in eating everyone taketh before his own supper. One is hungry and another. But think about what was happening there. Look at verse 19. Because of these problems, for there must be also heresies among you, that they which are approved may be made manifest among you. Because of these divisions, nobody was on the lookout for heresies. Nobody was on the lookout for blasphemies or apostasy in the church. They were more concerned about, well, my crowd, my little bubble. This is we're following we're following Christ, or we're following Apollos, we're following Peter, we're following Paul, and they were not concerned about heresy and apostasy making its way into the church. They were not concerned about that. It left them wide open. When you think about this, I think who was it? Abraham Lincoln, a house divided can't stand. I probably just butchered his quote there, but y'all get the point. A house divided cannot stand. A house. Think about this: if you have a city, a well-guarded city, a well-guarded wall, a thick wall, a very strong wall. If that city were to say, you know what, I'm no longer going to support you on the west side of the city. We're the east side of the city. We're no longer going to help and support the west side of the city. And we're actually going to divide the wall. You all take your side, we'll take our side. They just left the city open for a lot of problems. For an enemy to get in and destroy the city. I mean, you think about what was it? There's that the story. I'm trying to think here just a moment. It's probably not. Never mind. I won't say. Now that I'm thinking about it, doesn't really play out to be a good illustration here. But the fact of the matter is, a city that's divided, a country that's divided, a church that is divided will allow heresies into the city. Now that I'm thinking about it, actually will make out to be a good illustration. We've all heard the Greek tragedy of Troy, the city that allowed the Trojan horse in, and because of that, there was some people that said, no, let's burn it. Others said, you know what, let's just keep it in. And because of that, the city was sacked because the enemy was able to get into the city because there was divisions. That's just a very simple illustration there. But the fact of the matter is that a church that is divided is not, and as Paul says there, verse number 19, for there must be also heresies among you. You're so divided that there must be heresies among you. Think about this. They made it out to be a big party where everyone where they fed their flesh. It didn't matter what was going on. It didn't matter if this was a time of remembrance. This was a time to party. This was a time to just kick back, let yourself go, eat a whole bowl of your favorite, whatever it may be. Eat all the hamburger, eat all the bacon cheeseburgers, whatever it may be. Sorry, I had to pick on you just for a moment. The fact of the matter is that because of the division, there's a strong possibility, as Paul says, they were allowing heresy in. Think about this tonight. Tonight, it's a solemn time. Tonight, here, just a little bit. This is solemn. This is a serious time. This is not something that's done flippantly, but this is a serious moment. We'll have fellowships later on. We'll get together. We'll go in the back. We'll enjoy not today, but we'll enjoy a nice meal. We'll enjoy fellowship. Paul says that's not even the Lord's Supper. Not only is it a solemn time, but think about this: it ought to be a unifying time. It ought to be a time that we as a church, we come together. We come together and say, you know what, if there are any issues, if there are any problems, I want the Lord to be able to look at Benson Baptist Church and say, you know what, that's a church without spot or wrinkle. Think about this. Our Savior gave a command, and I don't have the exact verse pulled up, but let me just give you the gist of it. He said if you're going to go to, he gave a command about offering. He said if you have aught against your brother, if you have a problem with a brother in Christ, a sister, someone in the church, I'm paraphrasing here, set your offering to the side. Go get it right with your brother. Get it right with the brother or sister in Christ. Get it right, then come back and then offer your offering. Divisions in the church are good for nobody. Paul, this is a very strong epistle here. There ought to be, there should be, there must not be any divisions in our church. Again, if you have something against another church member, get it cleared up. Get it cleared up right now. It's very serious. It is a very serious matter. It was so serious that here Paul was chastising them for this great error. That was the problem that he encountered, that he heard about. But number two, what's the big deal, Pastor? What is the big deal? Let me show you exactly what Paul here is about. Paul received these instructions from the Lord. Look at verse 23. It says, For I have received of the Lord that which also I delivered unto you, that the Lord Jesus, the same night in which he was betrayed, took bread. This is something that Paul had received from the Lord. Now, we read Matthew's account. There's also an account in Mark, but we're going to go with me real quick to Luke chapter 22 real quick. Hold your place here, and we'll come back here. Go to Luke 22. Luke 22, verses 14 through 20. Let's read Luke's account of this. Luke chapter 14. I'm sorry, Luke chapter 22, verses 14 through 20. Luke 22, verses 14 through 20. And the Bible says, I'll give you just a moment to turn there. Luke chapter 22, verse 14 through 20. The Bible says, that when the hour was come, he sat down, and the 12 apostles with him. And he said to them, With desire I have desired to eat this Passover with you before I suffer. For I say unto you, I will not any more eat thereof until it be fulfilled in the kingdom of God. And he took the cup and gave thanks and said, Take this and divide it among yourselves. For I say unto you, I will not drink of the fruit of the vine until the kingdom of God shall come. Verse 19, And he took the bread and gave thanks and brake it and gave unto them, saying, This is my body which is given for you. This do in remembrance of me. Likewise also the cup after supper, saying, This cup is the New Testament in my blood, which is shed for you. Paul received instruction, but wait a minute. Paul was not here during this time. When did Paul receive these instructions? Go with me real quick to Galatians chapter 1. Galatians chapter 1. This is to show you that Paul received instructions from the Lord himself. Galatians chapter 1. Galatians chapter 1. We're going to pick up our reading here in verse number 11, and we're going to go all the way to verse number 20. Galatians chapter 1, starting in verse 11 through 20, the Bible says this. It says, But I certify you, brethren, that the gospel which was preached of me is not after men. For I neither received it of man, neither was I taught it, but by the revelation of Jesus Christ. For ye have heard of my conversation in the time past in the Jews' religion, how that beyond measure I persecuted the church of God and wasted it, and profited it in the Jews' religion above many my equals in mine own nation, being more exceedingly zealous of the traditions of my father. But when it pleased God, who separated me from my mother's womb and called me by his grace, to reveal his Son in me, that I might preach him among the heathen, immediately I conferred not with flesh and blood. Neither went I up to Jerusalem to them which were apostles before me, but I went into Arabia and returned again unto Damascus. Then after 3 years I went up to Jerusalem to see Peter and abode with him 15 days. But other of the apostles saw I none, save James the Lord's brother. Now the things which I wrote unto you, behold, before God I lie not. So Paul was revealed some things by the Lord. We see by revelation of Jesus Christ. Paul was revealed something. He was taught the things by our Savior. Go back to 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter number 11. So when Paul writes these words, for I've received of the Lord that which also I delivered unto you, this is the Lord's words. This is exactly what the Lord taught Paul, so that he in turn could teach the other churches. Teach the church at Corinth, teach the church at Galatia, teach the church at Philippi, and all the other churches that he had a hand starting in. This is things that Paul taught them. This is not Paul's own words. This is not man's words. These are God's words. This is exactly what Paul was taught, and he is in turn teaching the church at Corinth there. And he chastises him because of the authority he has, because he was taught by Christ. So we have this is of the Lord, this is not man's idea, but let's look at number 3 real quick. Let's look at the elements. What's involved with the elements tonight? We'll take off the cover here in just a few moments, but we have some bread. We have the bread that is mentioned. Now, this is a very, very specific type of bread. We could go back and we could look at when God instituted Passover. There to Moses, there the children of Israel as they were getting ready to Exodus Egypt, to leave Egypt. The bread that was involved was unleavened bread. This is bread without yeast. This is unfermented bread. We'll show. When you hold it in your hand tonight, this is unleavened bread. There's no yeast in this bread. Yeast causes the bread to rise. This is unleavened bread. We've talked about this before in times past. Leaven is a picture of sin. Pastor, how can you say that there's no leaven in this bread? Because I also want to look at, the Bible says here in verse 24, so take, eat, this is my body. There is no sin in Christ. Christ never sinned. Christ never had a sinful thought. Christ never sinned. He never committed sin. He never thought about sin. He was tempted, yes, but He did it without sin. So we have the unleavened bread. Again, it represents the body of Christ that was broken for us. We also have the second element is the cup. We see that verse 25. It says, and after the same manner also He took the cup when He had supped, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do ye as oft as you drink it in remembrance of me. The cup, as when Christ instituted it, it was the fruit of the vine. There's only one fruit of the vine, that's grape. By the way, this also is unfermented. This is also without, unfermented. This is not alcoholic. This is non-alcoholic. There are many out there that they will use alcoholic version of wine because I'm going to do my best not to be unkind, but they're very ignorant of what the Bible says about alcoholic wine, about alcohol. Period. Very foolish. They're of the belief that Christ made alcoholic wine. They're at the marriage supper. They're at Canaan. Again, very foolish. I wish they would just study their Bible, and that you could see clearly from Scripture that Christ would have never made an alcoholic wine at all, and He did not use an alcoholic wine here in the institution of the Lord's Supper. It is fresh grape juice. We have before us, and when we unveil and reveal the plates that we have here, we have unfermented grape juice. I love this, and every time we partake of the Lord's Supper, it thrills me. I'm very thankful that we have before us we have fresh grape juice. Been canned, yes, but it's still it's fresh. I'm very thankful for the Thompsons and their desire to do that, and it's a wonderful thing. But it's fresh grape juice. It's not fermented. It's not alcoholic. Again, because leaven is a picture of sin. There was no sin in Christ. So those are the elements. Now let's really quick, the number 4, what is the purpose? What is the purpose of observing the Lord's Supper? Look with me, look at verse 24 through 26. We'll read these. Bible says, and when He had given thanks, He brake it and said, take, eat, this is my body, which is broken for you. This do in remembrance of me. After the same manner also He took the cup when He had supped, saying, this cup is the New Testament in my blood. This do ye as often as you drink it in remembrance of me. For as often as ye eat this bread and drink this cup, ye do shew the Lord's death till He come. Jump on down to verse 28. It says, but let a man examine himself, and so let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup. And the verse 31, for if we would judge ourselves, we should not be judged. So we have two purposes really of the Lord's Supper. Number 1, it is done in remembrance of Christ. Remember, we're here tonight. When we partake of the Lord's Supper, when we hold that bread, that unleavened bread in our hand, and we hold that little cup of unfermented grape juice, the fruit of the vine, We're not literally holding the flesh and literally holding the blood of Jesus. We're not mystically holding the blood, the flesh of Christ, or mystically holding the blood of Jesus. We're holding pictures of Christ. We're partaking of this in remembrance of what He's done. You know, let it never be said of us. Let it never be said of us that we've gotten over our salvation. You know, I'm very thankful, and I find myself, you know, if I get too busy, I can find myself not really unthankful, but I find myself not thankful enough. Sometimes we all can get into a place where we just get too busy and life happens, and it's good for us to stop and just thank the Lord for salvation. Be thankful for the day that God you. Be thankful for the day that you put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ. Be thankful, and this is a time that we can remember that. You know, we don't just flippantly follow a book that just the pages happen to come together. No, we follow our Lord and Savior, who loved us so much that He gave Himself for us. He shed every last drop of His blood for you and for me. We do this in remembrance of Him. But not only that, but He gave His body. I won't go into too many graphic details tonight, but when they beat Him, they whipped Him with the cat o' nine tails, scourging Him, placing those crown of thorns on His head, taking the reed and hitting Him and smiting Him and smacking Him, pulling out His beard. He did all of that. All of that for you and I. He did all of that. The Bible says, "For whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord." We do this tonight in remembrance. And Christ even said, we see in verse 24 and 25, says, "This do in remembrance of me." We remember what Christ has done. But not only that, we do that in remembrance. We do it until He calls us home. This is a perpetual ordinance that we do. We do it. I believe we try to do it 3 to 4 times a year. Some churches do it once a year. Some churches do it every month. Some churches, however often it's however the Lord leads. But we do it until the Lord calls us home, or the Lord takes us about it here. Either way it goes, we do this in remembrance of Him until He calls us home. But it's also, as we see here, we do this as a time of self-examination. We see that verse 28. The Bible says, "But let a man examine himself. So let him eat of that bread and drink of that cup." Did you know that the purpose of the Lord's Supper is not to stop you from taking the Lord's Supper? Think about that. When Paul is writing these words, penning these words under the inspiration of the Holy Ghost, he did not write those words to stop a person taking the Lord's Supper. No, he encourages us to do that, but he encourages us to do it worthily. He encourages us to do it with a clear conscience. He encourages us to do it unified. There's no ought between us or our brother or sister in Christ here in our church. He encourages, because he says, "But let a man." That word "but," that's a contrast to what we talk about. Yes, there was problems in the church of Corinth. Very carnal. There was a lot of divisions, but Paul says, "Let a man examine himself." Tonight, right now, be examining yourself. Lord, is there anything in my life that is coming between me and between me and you, Lord? Is there anything stopping it? Is there anything hindering my relationship with you? Do I have a problem with another brother or sister in Christ, especially here in the church? Do I have is there some sin in my life that I've not gotten rid of? I've not gotten right with you. We observe this as a way. I've said this before. We observe it to avoid church discipline. That's exactly, because you go on later on. I think maybe further on, Paul talks about. Prior to this, Paul was talking about church disciplining that young man because of his immoral sin. The Lord's Supper doesn't allow us to get to that point. Let me say it like this. It shouldn't allow us to get to that point. Examine ourselves. It is a time of self-examination. It is a time also, as Paul said there in verse 31, for if we would judge ourselves. Judge yourself. Pastor Brett, by what measure do I need to judge myself? By what measure do I need to self-examine myself? Right here in the perfect law of liberty. I've often had the thought, that is why people who backslide, why they don't read the Bible. Because they want to stay in their they want to stay in their sin. They don't want to get things right. They don't want to be told that they're wrong, that what they're doing is sin. And that's a very dangerous place to be. But this time right now is a time of self-examination, a time of judging yourself, looking into that perfect law of liberty. But there was a problem here at the church at Corinth. Because they had partaken unworthily, there was chastisement. When we don't do right by the Lord, there is a time of chastisement. You know, I just got to say this is a wonderful sign here that the church, there was a bunch of believers there. Pastor, how can you say that? Because the Bible says the Lord's not going to chasten someone who's not a son or daughter. Someone who's not a born-again child of God, He's not going to chasten them, this side of heaven anyway, this side of eternity. They'll face their judgment, their chastisement because of their rejection. But chastisement are for sons and daughters, or for born-again children of God. Look at the chastisement of the Lord that came because of this. Verse 49 and 30 says, For he that eateth and drinketh unworthily eateth and drinketh damnation to himself. Not that they do not lose their salvation. I just want to make sure of that. Not discerning the Lord's body. For this cause many are weak and sickly among you, and many sleep. Pastor, what are you trying to say? Some of them were suffering ailments. Some of them were suffering illnesses. Others, they were not very mature in the things of the Lord. They were weak. They were weak spiritually. They were not able to battle the temptations of the Lord, the temptations of Satan. Excuse me. They were spiritually weak. Some of them, however, got to the point, as Paul says there, and sleep. Now that's not saying they fell asleep, they closed their eyes and they're in a coma. No, that's not what he's saying. Many have died. It is a very serious matter because they brought chastisement. And that word, think about this, that word unworthily means irreverently, without reverence. If we partake of the Lord's Supper tonight, if we take it flippantly, if we just take it, this is what we do. I'm just gonna go ahead and hold my hand out. I'm gonna take the bread, gonna take the grape juice, and I'm not gonna worry about anything. I'm just gonna. That's very flippantly. I would dare say that's very irreverently. That's without reverence. If we partake of the Lord's Supper tonight, if we take it knowing we're living in sin, we're doing that irreverently. We're doing that without reverence for what Christ has done. Because remember, we're doing this in remembrance of Him. We do this to remember the sacrifice that He paid for our sins. If we could say, you know what, I don't care. I'm gonna partake of this anyway. I'm gonna live in my sin. I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna plop it in. You're in danger. You're in danger. It's a very serious time, very solemn time. At this time, we're going to go ahead and have a time of invitation. We're going to take the next few moments here. Before Mrs. Hayes comes up, I'm going to have a word of prayer We're just, everybody's going to go pray here at our seats. Cade. Okay. We're going to pray here at our seats. We're going to take just a few moments before Mrs. Hayes comes up. I'm going to pray out loud. You all pray there in your seats and just self-examine yourself. Judge yourself right now. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, Lord, I love you. Lord, I thank you for your word. I thank you for the challenge that you've brought tonight. I pray, Lord, these next few moments that we would just stop. Lord, that we would just examine ourselves. Or is there any area in my life that I'm not right with you? In any area in my life, in any brother or sister of Christ in the church or outside of the church that I've got a problem with, they've hurt me, they've sinned, or I've sinned against them. Whatever the case, Lord, there's friction there. I pray that right now we would first ask for forgiveness from you, but then we would seek out that brother or sister in Christ and get things right with them, so that there are no divisions here in your church, Lord. Lord, I pray for each and every one of us tonight. Lord, that we would utter these words that I'm getting ready to utter. Lord, please forgive me where I failed you. I pray that right now that as we as a church, we're coming to you collectively and coming to you as individually, Lord, that we're seeking your face. That tonight as we partake, we are not partaking of it unworthily, but we could partake of it with a clear conscience. And I ask you, Lord, as we get ready just to have just a time of the piano, they're going to come up and play. I pray that you please bless. Please have your will and way of the invitation. In Jesus' name I pray. We'll take just a few moments. Whenever Mrs. Hayes is ready, she'll come and play the piano through a time or two of the invitation song. Right now is just a time between you and the Lord. We're not in a rush. All right, you may look this way. Brother Glenn, if you could make your way forward. And Brother Glenn is going to be making his way around. We're first going to pass out the unleavened bread, and we will partake all the elements together. And then Brother Glenn will also be passing out the unfermented, non-alcoholic grape juice. Yes, sir. The Bible says here in Mark chapter number 14, and as they did eat, Jesus took bread and blessed and brake it and gave to them and said, "Take, eat, this is my body." Let's have a word of prayer before we partake of the bread. Heavenly Father, Lord, I thank you for your body that was given for us. Lord, you took upon yourself, Lord, he who knew no sin. You took upon our sin upon you, Lord. You became sin for us. Lord, you took our punishment. Every lash of the cat o' nine tails, every time you were hit, every time you were smacked, every hair that was pulled out of your beard, Lord, you did that because of us. Every thorn that was driven into your skull, Lord, that you did that for us. Lord, please bless this bit of unleavened bread that we have before us. Lord, help us to time and just remember what you have done for us. And thank you, Father, for it. Lord, I love you. I'm so thankful that you saved my soul. Please bless this bread. But may you use it to help us to remember what you have done for us, for your body that was broken for us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. And the Bible says in verse 23 of Mark 14, and he took the cup. When he given thanks, he gave it to them, and they all drank of it. And he said to them, this is my blood, my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, I thank you for your blood. The Bible says without the shedding of blood is no remission of sins. Thank you for every last drop of your blood that you shed, not just for my sins, Lord, but the Bible says that whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. I pray that you would take this time, Lord, and help us to remember what you have done for us, Lord. Not only did you just go to Calvary's cross, not only did you die for our sins, but you shed your precious blood. Thank you, Father, for this fruit of the vine. Please bless it. And I pray that you would use it to help us to remember what you have done for us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. The Bible says, I love this promise. Verse 25 says, verily I say unto you, I will drink no more of the fruit of the vine until the day that I drink it anew in the kingdom of God. I'm so thankful that not only did Christ promise and give us this remembrance of observing the Lord's Supper, but He gave us a promise that one day we will be with Him. We observe this until He calls us home, and what a day that's going to be. I also want to point out verse 26. We're going to close this way. The Bible says, when they had sung an hymn, they went out into the Mount of Olives. Mrs. Hayes, what is the number of that song? 570. Brother Thompson, I would ask if you would dismiss us in prayer, and as we make our way out, we'll just sing a verse or two of "Blessed be the tie that binds." Yes, sir.